Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our Watchmen Season 1, Episode 3 Thoughts video. I just finished watching the latest episode of Watchmen on HBO, and I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts on the episode. So in this episode, we actually get introduced to the character of Laurie Blake, aka the Silk Spectre from back in the Watchmen days. And this was a nice little surprise to me. I clearly did not pay enough attention to the trailers and stuff before in putting the connection together that this was the actual one of the Watchmen characters. So that was a fun little thing to learn throughout this episode. But yes, we spend this episode being introduced to her character, or her character being introduced into this show, and we kind of learn that she's part of the FBI and she's part of an anti-vigilante task force, which is a fun little twist. And we spend pretty much the whole episode following her perspective through this as she takes on this case of the events happening in Tulsa of the stuff that we've had happen in the first two episodes with the chief getting the chief's murder. So yeah, it was really interesting to pretty much spend this whole episode with this character and kind of slowly learn about her and see what she's been up to, seeing how this this time in this world is what it's done to her in a sense, which has seemingly left her a little bitter. She's a little love sick for Dr. Manhattan, which they really show in this episode. But yeah, so this was kind of fun. I really we see her at one point. Throughout this episode we see she's calling Dr. Manhattan, which was a fun little gimmick thing, which I'm yeah, if we had an alien or if we had one of us, not an alien, but if we knew how we could get to Mars, or had somebody on Mars or a way to communicate to it, we'd also probably be sending messages and having stuff like that. So I thought that was a fun little gimmick that they added, and a kind of fun little way for us to kind of get an insight into this character's mindset, what she's been up to, why she feels this way. But yeah, so we see when she's calling Dr. Manhattan, she's just kind of, giving us a little bit of an insight into her mindset, and she's telling a joke about three superheroes, which was kind of funny and a fun little way for them to kind of give us a little exposition about kind of what ties this has to the original Watchmen, speaking about the squid and each of the individuals, the owl, which I thought was a fun little thing, which I was a little where's the owl guy? Where is he? What's going on with it? Why does she have an owl? Is that the owl guy? I'm so confused. I know so little about Watchmen, the comic book that is I've read it once or twice, and I've read before Watchmen, but I still don't know as much about it, so trying to make the ties to it and which ones are stuff that is actual Easter eggs and stuff that's kind of their nod of an Easter egg, if that makes sense. But yeah, so that was kind of fun, her kind of going into that, giving us a little bit. We also find out in this one that Ozymandias is presumed dead, but it's still speculated he might be somewhere, which I thought was a fun little addition to this. It also makes a little bit of sense. We also see Ozzy a little bit in this one. That was a little bit of a deviation in this episode from just following Laurie Blake's character. We did get a little bit of seeing that Ozzy's up to trying to do some kind of experiment. It seemed like some kind of either dimensional travel or space travel. I'm not 100% sure, but I also like that. That's what I'm really liking about this show. It's just giving us little bits of information, making you kind of curious about it, and having to obviously come back for another week to hopefully get some more answers. So I really enjoyed that. They introduced some game warden character, which seems that Ozzy's going to have a little fight up with, because we see Ozzy suit up at the at one point in this episode, which was a fun little thing to see. The comic book / movie more so for me, costume brought into this show. So I just really enjoyed that little aspect added to it. But yeah, pretty much a lot of this did follow Laurie Blake's character, though, seeing what she's been up to, kind of just getting her introduced into the show. Like I said, there was a little thing in this. It wasn't little. It was big and blue, and it was just oh, you guys went there. Okay. Whew. That caught me off guard, but I also thought it was hilarious because it was just apparently once you go blue. But yeah, that was just one of those oh wow, I didn't think you guys would go there, but I mean, they did show the big blue penis in the last episode, so it kind of made sense, but it was just definitely caught me off guard. But yeah, so other than that, it was just it was interesting to kind of get, well, even with that, I should say, it was interesting to see her mindset. At the end of the episode, after she's done the call with call to Dr. Manhattan, her car or a car gets like dropped in front of her, and she has this little like look up at Mars and has a little smile, and I think it's supposed to imply that Dr. Manhattan maybe did that because she had a joke about a brick, and it's like, oh, did he? Because she starts laughing in a weird way, and it makes sense. We haven't seen anybody else who'd be able to have that ability to throw that kind of thing. I think he's the only one who technically has superpowers in this universe. It's hard to say because this isn't an exact adaptation. But anyways, that was just an interesting way to end this episode off. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this latest episode of Watchmen. What did you guys think? Was there any Easter eggs that I missed that you definitely that you picked up? Sure, let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Sure to subscribe to the channel if you already, and have a good one.